look at?
It is something we are looking at and as something we are addressing. We are trying to organize right now the layout of what our needs are for the spring-summer guide. It's changing a lot. And so we're trying to work through some of that. We are going to dedicate a page. We're just trying to figure out where we're going to shrink to add that. One page dedicated toward community resources. Thought it was a great idea what you came up with to reach out to sports leagues, but we want to add to that and put a list as a resource for our community for lots of different organizations. So, fire, police, local HOAs, and we're coming up with that list right now. So that information will be included in the next rec guide.
Excellent, thank you.
I have a question about the website.
Yes.
I noticed you guys have already viewed some design concepts. I was sort of hoping that we would be on the loop, but I guess we're not in the loop on that. I don't know why they took some of our ideas and comments, but we don't get to see where we're going on it. And I'd like to have more of an update on where we're going, what direction and you chose or.
We have seen several design concepts which Page Design had come up with based on some of your suggestions and staff requirements and suggestions. And we've looked at some of the designs already, and we're still in the design phase right now. It's getting much, much closer, and you will actually, I think, see something, hopefully, by the next board meeting, if not the following.
See something on paper or see something on the web?
No, something more final.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a presentation, trying to figure out the timeline right now. Because some of this rollout and the design process is getting really close to the holiday season, we're trying to reevaluate the timeline to see if we can get Page Design to come in December to give you, which I'm pretty sure they will be able to give you a presentation of our new look for the website.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Let's go on to item F. No.
Item E would be human resources. Andrea White.
Sorry, Ms. White, I wasn't really trying to go through you. I just
That's
know,
okay.
I know the next one I'm only given 35 seconds to, so.
That's okay. Mine is as a short report, no presentation. The only thing I'd like to highlight are the updates to the recruitment, because when this goes out, there are still updates after this. We have been notified, and I think everyone here has been sent an email stating that our golf superintendent, Gary Williams, will be retiring. Sad for us, happy for him. And so we have posted that position. That is closing on November 8th, and that is being advertised on the golf superintendent's website. So I've gotten some assistance from some of our staff, especially Jim Morales, who has golf course superintendent experience. He's been able to assist me with that process. And we've already received several applications from current superintendents in California. So I'm very hopeful that we'll get great applicants as we get closer to that closing time. In addition, the recreation coordinator interviews and second round interviews have been concluded, and we've pretty much made a decision. And as soon as we make an offer contingent on background check and medical evaluation, drug test, so forth, once that's completed, we'll make that announcement. And we're really excited to get that position started over at the Mather Sports Center. And the third position is a park maintenance worker 2, spray technician. They deal mostly with applying our herbicides, pesticides, and so forth. And that is a very specialized position. We don't get as many applicants as other positions, but we conducted the interviews, had 3 great candidates. I was really pleased that I thought any one of those first 3 that we interviewed could very well fill that position. So it was kind of splitting hairs to make the decision. And we're in the process of scheduling the second interview, and I believe that position will be filled very shortly. And again, we'll make that announcement. Other than that, I have some statistics here. I've listed the individuals who were recognized at our last picnic, which was great fun, great food. Thank you again, Jim, for barbecuing for us all. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Any questions for Ms. White at this time? Hearing none, let's go to Mr. Cattell in the Finance Department.
So it looks like we're going to save the best for last. I mean, who doesn't like CalPERS talk, right?
Mr. Cattell.
I tried to put together a PowerPoint presentation, but realized there are no pictures for CalPERS. But that is our public retirement system. Last month, Director Reyes commented on one of the topics that Human Resources and Finance were collaborating and discussing all the changes that have taken place. The CalPERS has asked for us to report differently, also how to pay and what our rates are. A lot has changed in this past year. And so I broke that down a little bit, what's going on with CalPERS. Overall, they're 52% underfunded. That sounds horrible, but in actuality, that's just, if everybody died today, it'd be a huge problem. But obviously, people are going to live longer, and they're just taking care of that liability. They expect a 7.5% return rate. They're getting that now, 16% last year. So that's good news. What does that mean for us? Last year and years before, we had a rate that carried over 25%, 26.5% last year as our employer percentage. Our average payroll per period for CalPERS qualifying employees was $71,000. So that cost per payroll is about $19,000 for retirement. So I showed a little graph here on what it looked like last year. That was our cost. Now what they're doing is they established a new percentage, 9.45%. I thought that was great. Yahtzee, here we go. But what they did on top of that is added an additional underfunded liability of $405,000 for the year. So we have to pay the 9% of our wages plus an additional $400,000 split monthly. So we submit our cost, like in 2015, offsetting 1,000 in payroll of $6,774 for that percentage, plus an additional $16,900 for a total cost $23,000. So the fiscal impact is about $5,000 of payroll. The good news is that we anticipated what that amount was. I think we had about $495,000 last year, $550,000 this year, so it went up about $50,000, about 5%. It's substantial, but we anticipated it. We put it in the budget, and that's what our rate is. I'm going to a conference next week in San Jose for a CalPERS forum to learn more about GASB 68, what it means to us, how to extract that information, what it's going to cost, and how to properly report it as a note in one of our in our final audit. So I look forward to attending that and finding more about that. Also, what's going on is that we went live with our new accounting software, going from QuickBooks to more of a fund accounting type of software. We imported data from last year, mirrored what we were doing to make sure that things were coinciding and reporting and functioning correctly. And then this year, July 1, we went live. We're fairly happy with the results, but of course, with anything that you do, it's not perfect. And so I've tabled here some pros, some cons, things that work. We are sending out biweekly reports to our department heads on what's going on. We're able to access detailed payroll information at our fingertips in-house. The invoices are attached, so not only do we get to see a report for vendor names, dates, and amounts, but we can see the actual original invoice if we have to. Cost recovery and billings flowing, and the reconciliation of accounts has worked great with the new software. What I don't like is that we currently don't have it cloud-based or internet-based or interfund-based where people can view their reports on their own. We don't have electronic timekeeping. We're still doing time cards manually. I'd like to see that change. Crystal reports. I now recall why I didn't like them before. I used them 10 years ago. But basically, it's a PDF. You don't have any control of seeing detail. The number that you get is the number you get. And you can't drill down to see what that detail means. So you have to go other places, other modules, figure out what that is. So that's kind of a pain. We found a little bit of glitches where we have problems posting certain things or deleting or going back and reversing. And so minor glitches that we found in the software. And then to get help about that, it costs $100 per hour. So it's not cheap to get help. So we're trying to do as much as we can in-house. So we're going to give it a good year to see how it works and evaluate it at the end of this year. We're in progress of the audit right now. I look forward to update and finalize that at the end of this quarter. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Goodell?
It was my understanding that GASB 68 had to be included in,
Last year's.
yeah.
Right, it said June 15th, after June 15th, which I found as an odd date to have it implemented. There was information presented, but it wasn't extracted, or we didn't pay CalPERS to have that report done. It was done by our auditors, but they don't want to do that. We have to get the information from CalPERS. It's a couple $1,000s from what I understand. I'll learn more about it next week on exactly what it's going to cost us.
The CalPERS report, in case you want to know, is $850 per tier.
Per year?
Per tier.
Per tier, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But will you be out of compliance by not having it?
Oh, we'll have it in this audit.
Oh, you'll have it in time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And there are a lot of great things going on in the golf course. I'm glad Chair Danzel brought up Jacob Martin. He's definitely done a great job out there, marketing, branding us. Golf course is in great shape, and I can't wait to reiterate the good news about his work being appreciated. So,
Great, thank you. Okay, let's go on to item J, comments by staff on non-agenda items. J1, department head reports.
Once again, you've received all the department head reports and have had questions. I think I can move on to J2.
Yes.
Is my district administrator's report. I really have nothing more to add to that. If you have questions you'd like to ask me, I will, however, inform the board in my absence, starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. In charge in my stead will be Mr. Goodell. Communications will all be going through Vivian. And the contact number you have for me, or that's going on my email, my out of office notice, is for Gail Bear. She'll be, because Danielle is gone, she'll be doing traffic control and any communications. Vivian has some strict rules about what gets to me while I'm in Berlin. Anything with a red exclamation point, I will read. Anything that doesn't come from Vivian, I'll probably pass on. So if you need to get to me, you're going to have to go through her at this point in time. Just to let you know, it's just to keep the chatter down. I will not have phone communication. If you have an iPhone, you will be able to text me. So there you go, Apple users.
Yeah.
Okay. I will, you're more than welcome to dip into my Facebook account if you want to see pictures of what's going on. That's all I can tell you. But looking forward to the break, and we'll be back in on the 2nd of November.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for Administrator Arms at this point? Hearing none, let's go to item K, communications. K1.
Once again, you have in front of you just the sum of things. You've probably also seen some of it in the presentation. You have articles, correspondence, public outreach. You have the Fright Night flyer designed by the Teen Lead Council. 4 articles, 2 letters, a CRPD nomination, LAFCO nomination, an email blast, invitation, 7 flyers, event collateral, design work, and 1 newsletter. Also the hideout calendars for September and October.
Any questions on communications? Hearing none, let's go to item L, future agenda items.
Your future agenda items, item L1 is the informational board meetings. October 27th is to be canceled at this point in time, and November 24th we have topics to be determined. I am guessing that will also be canceled. I know that we have staff taking probably time off. That I believe that's the week of Thanksgiving. And I know that I actually won't be here as well. So more than likely, we will remove that meeting. If there are items that the board would like to discuss or anything in emergency comes up, we would look to move that date to the prior week possibly. L2 is a regular board meeting, once again, November 18th, 2015, and that's to amend District Conflict of Interest Code and CCC Annual Events Permit are the 2 items that we know will be coming up at that point in time. And item L3 is the CRPD Board and District Administrator calendar, October, November.
Thank you. Let's go on to item M, closed sessions. Administrator Rodham, would you please read the 5 items for closed sessions?
I am happy to announce the overabundance of closed session items we have this evening. Item M1 is a conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9. Number of potential cases, 1. Item M2 is conference with legal counsel, existing litigation pursuant to California Government Code Section 545 54956.9, number of potential cases, 1. I'm sorry. Case names, I apologize. Gary Lawrence, case number 34-2014-001-71917. Item M3 is conference with legal counsel in existing litigation pursuant to California Government Code, Section 54956.9. Name of case, Craig Stark. Case number unknown. Number M4 is a liability claim pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.95. Claimant is Brad Weiss. Agency claimed against is the Cordova Recreation Park District. And item N5 is conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to California Government Code Section 54956.9A, number of potential cases, 1. We will recess to the closed session at the community boardroom.
We will recess at 8:46.